Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Mull to 4. This week we are basically going to do our usual cracker pack. We have 4 packs left and a d20. We're going to assign
5 numbers.
Yeah, blocks of 5 to them. So Ravnica is going to be 1 to 5, Gate Crash is going to be 5 to 10, Corset is going to be
11 to 15.
Yeah.
Cards will be 16 to 20.
There you go. It's not like I can't count, I just want Joe to do it as well and get in on it. And
just as well I was listening.
Yeah, definitely. And then we're briefly going to go over what happened in the GP, and then we're going to have some news about the podcast and the channel at the end of this.
Some good news.
So, without any further ado, let's let you roll the dice this week and see what we're opening.
Alright, so it's 8, which is Gate Crash.
Gate Crash. I'm going to Gate Crash this party.
Let's see what we got. So it's pack 1, pick 1 again.
What we got?
And I have no idea of these cards. I might recognise a couple of them.
This would be really good if I get the pack and put them in my hands when it's so greasy.
Do you want me to go?
I've got it. It's just not Origins. We've never done Origins in the GP, and this
It feels different.
It just isn't Origins. That looks like a Mizzy Meddler, but it's not.
Okay.
Okay, you can read them. I'll lay them out.
Okay. Scatter Arc. Smite. Martial Glory. Shamble Shark.
Lol.
Good name. Foundry Street Denizen. Zarichi Tiger. Boris Guildgate. Sky Games.
Okay.
Corpse Blockade.
Say it in an epic voice.
Arrows of Justice. Fire Fist Striker. Gruel Charm.
Before I show you this, I've no idea what it is, but we've managed to crack a mythic.
And enter the infinite.
And
What?
not only have we cracked a mythic, we've also managed to get a hollow.
Oh. Yeah, so we've got
Purge the Profane.
Purge the Profane, which
Okay.
is a common shiny.
Colin Shiny.
So that that mythic rare.
Yeah, despite the fact it's
The converted mana cost is 12, 4 of which is blue. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library. Then put a card from your hand on top of your library, which would be the only card in your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn. So this is obviously for some crazy combo.
It's got to be, but you're going to kill yourself because you're paying 12 mana to do that. You're going to enjoy your entire library, and then you've got 1 turn to spit everything out and win. That's such a clock.
I have no idea what tactic
No.
made the most of that, if any.
No, definitely.
But not in draft.
Right off the bat, one of the few cards I recognise is Foundry Street Denizen, which I think is solid. Real solid.
There seems to be a lot of multicoloured cards.
It was to do with the guilds of Ravnica.
Yeah. Because there's got the Boris Guild,
Yeah.
Gruel Charm.
Gruel Guild, the Cynic, but Shamble Shark Cynic. I've seen Shamble Shark before. He's okay. Evolve was a stupid mechanic if you want to have a quick read of Evolve. When you don't read the Gruel Charm.
I was trying to read the Gruel Charm because the Gruel Charm has one of the options.
Modes.
So it says choose one. One is creatures without flying can't block this turn. The second one really confuses me. It says gain control of all permanents you own. What's going on there?
Perhaps there was something that would steal things in game.
Maybe. Okay. Or it deals 3 damage to each creature with flying. So just need a little quick look at
What I like is
or Shamble Shark.
some of the
Evolve.
Yeah, Evolve was the scary mechanic.
Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So it gets as big as what your biggest would in the end.
I quite like sometimes the flavor text is really cheesy, sometimes it's quite funny. Quite like the flavor text on Gruel Charm, which just says not Gruel, then die. I'm thinking Smite's really cool.
Yeah,
This
the
will
removal.
target blocked creature for one white.
So you could have a situation where somebody
Again,
attacks, neither of them die, but then you destroy them.
Again, the flavour text on Smite. Smite is basically a picture of a pair of boots where a guy has been smited out of them, and all that's remaining are his smoking boots, and the flavour text. Sure, Today of all days, he asked to borrow my boots.
Although Arrows of Justice is good as well. It deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, so it's a lot more flexible. And you can, it's got, is it called Phyrexian mana?
No, that's...
What's that called?
Oh, you've thrown me now.
Oh, it's basically mana where you can pay
mana.
hybrid mana. So you can pay either red or white, and then 2 colourless. So I would probably thinking I'm going to take that because then it opens up red and it opens up white. I'm not fixed into either colour.
Yeah, I'm taking Smite.
You're taking Smite?
I'm taking Smite, definitely, because it's even if you don't end up in white, you can splash it, because it's 1 white.
Yeah.
And Destruction.
Okay, so I would take Arrows of Justice, which is 3 mana, instant, deals 4 damage to a target attacking or blocking creature.
And if you're playing against someone who isn't that good, you could just sort of go, oh, I'm going to attack him with this dude that you would just block with and kill anyway. They go to block and you go, yeah, kill you, just blocker. People, good,
you can't rely on facing someone
good
good
players would read that, definitely, but if
Yeah.
you're not playing someone that good, or you could just use it anyway.
Yeah. And I do like Shamble Shark, but it puts you...
blocked creature, not blocking creature.
Yeah.
So it helps being aggressive more as well.
I do like Shamble Shark, but it's 1 blue and 1 green, so it definitely puts you in both those colours as your first pick.
It's a really bad idea to first pick multicoloured, of which we've got 4 of in this pack.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's got flash, but the evolve mechanic doesn't really work with flash, I can't see, because it only gets bigger when
other stuff comes in, yeah.
So unless you've got a load of things with flash, then you'll be playing things in your turn, which will make it bigger.
Yeah.
So flashing it in on your opponent's turn isn't...
I'm going to say now, Sky Games looks balls.
Sky Games.
Yeah, Enchanted Land has tap. Target creature gains flying until the end of the turn. Activate this ability at any time you could cast a sorcery. It doesn't do anything. So you play a turn 2, you take a turn off enchanting a land.
And then you don't really have that
land.
land.
What it does is give something flying, which flying still dies to a fucking smite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which wouldn't work anyway, because it's only as a sorcery, which is even more balls. Yeah, so I take the smite.
It's quite cool to see some new cards for us, though. I mean, I'm sure some people watching will remember this.
Some new old cards.
New old cards.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how old they are.
Yeah.
2 years? 2.5
years? I don't know, it's probably like 3. 3.5. Yeah, because they're also 2 years old, so it's got to be 3. Yep, I'd be taking that smite. Schmitey.
Yeah.
Okay, on to
London GP. Grand Prix.
I guess the best way to do it realistically is to say how we both got on in the main event and then what we did or didn't do on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you can start.
Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sort it out.
So the deck that I took, first of all, was basically Sidisi Whip. And it had slight variance on what's normally been used, just because I decided to put in some main deck Reclamation Sages. And like my own twist on it. It was a bit of a homebrew, but also a lot taken from, like I said last time, the Strictly Better MTG channel. In the first match, I faced another guy called Joseph, and it's quite funny because I saw the pairings board, and when I went over to him, I already knew his name, but I felt like being like mind gamesy, so I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" I feel like such a dick. I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And he goes, "Oh, Joseph," and I goes, "That's my name." I wasn't like, "That's my name too." I was like, "My name belongs to me." And then I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you."
And the mind games wrote really well for that match.
Yeah, they did. So he was playing red-green monsters, and I knew pretty much going into it, it's going to have Dragon Lord Ataka, and pretty much anything else I can deal with. In the first game, he managed to get out Dragon Lord Ataka, and it was just swing within 3 turns. I had nothing to deal with it.
Yeah.
Then the second game, I realised he also had Ugin in his deck.
Yeah.
And I also had no way to deal with Ugin.
The Ram, yeah.
Yeah, and so he beat me 2-0.
Well,
yeah.
If you don't mind, we'll go on to my game right now. So
we'll do game 1, like that.
Climax.
Oh, right. Okay.
My first game, ironically, was against red-green creatures as well, and again...
There was a lot there.
Ataka doesn't... Well, no, Ataka loves elves. Because I was playing black-green elves. Stupidly, a couple of days before the GP, I playtested and took some people's advice a little too literally that I didn't need removal. So I took all the removal out, including my sideboard, which the minute this Ataka hit the field, I was like, this is a really bad idea. I wish I had a Hero's Downfall on my deck.
We were in the same boat, really?
Yeah, he hit the field and just went, kill, kill, kill.
Wow.
Hit you. I managed to win game 2, mainly due to the fact that I burnt for, I think it was something like 17 or 2 Shamans at the back in one turn.
That's
I basically went Shaman at the back. He goes, okay, changed his life to, he's like, I'm down to, that takes me down to 7. I was like, 7, huh?
7, huh?
Sat there. I didn't say that. I was just thinking, 7, huh? Sat there, recording in hand and enough to cast it. So I was like, cool for 3, bring out my Shaman, burn you for 9.
Yeah.
Like, oh. We went to game 3, he beat me, and yeah, as I say, just generally because Red Green Creatures is pretty damn horrible. I think, I can't remember certain, I think I may have kept a bit of crap around in game 3 as well, and I was like, but yes, game 2 is the show, Seth.
So game 2 was a bit of a heartbreaker, really. And I made a mistake which was stupid, and I know never to do it again. I'm not even sure if I've told you this. But basically I played against, my opponent's called Boris, and he was playing a Jeskai Ascendancy deck. So it's just the deck where you try and get the Jeskai Ascendancy combo off and it mills you out with the Altar of the Broods. First game, he got the combo off quite quickly. I realised how to play against it kind of as I was playing against it, because I'd never actually played against it before, but I realised when I attacked in with something that he could block with his, what's the 0/3 blocker that has hexproof and can tap for any mana? Carroted, yeah. So he didn't block with his Carroted even though it would have stopped it coming through.
Jeskai doesn't play green. Jeskai is blue, red, white. This is really good content, by the way.
No, you definitely have that.
What, Carroted?
Yeah.
Jeskai deck?
Mm.
Okay, that's weird.
This is how I remember it anyway.
Okay.
So he didn't block with that, so I was like, okay, I think he's just trying to like combo off before I can do him enough damage, so I've just got to go aggro and just attack with everything each turn.
Yeah.
So first game he comboed off and milled me out. Second game I aggroed him and took the second game. And then in the third game, I'll just explain now, he was a French, and all his cards were in French. And most of the cards I recognised just from the artwork, and I was like, you don't have to explain that to me, I know that that's that card. But there were some where I didn't understand it, and he explained to me what the card was and what it did, and once he explained it I was like, oh, that's that card, I do know about that card, that's fine.
The only issue with that is I've had it a couple of times, and I've never played against someone who was from a foreign country, but I've had it a couple of times where I'll read a card and misread it, and then I'll think it does something totally different to what it actually does due to a couple of words in it, and then later on I'll be like, oh crap, game day, I totally didn't realise the guy's French had haste.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's true, but once he explained the card and what it did, I then recognised the card and was like, yeah, I know it does that. And he basically got to a point where he played a card, I can't remember the name of it, was in French. And so basically he can look at the top 5 cards of his library, and he can put any of them into his graveyard and any of them on the top of his library.
Target scheming.
Target scheming, that's it. So yeah, when he explained it I was like, oh yeah, I do know that, I recognise it. Target scheming, because I borrowed them off you, didn't I? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. So he did it, put 4 in his graveyard, and the one that he was meant to put on top of his library, he accidentally put it in his hand. So I was like, I just said to him, you were meant to put that on top of your library. And he said to me, oh, you are right. If you want to call a judge, it will be a game loss, and you will win. And it was the first time I'd been put in that situation, and you're going to call me an idiot, but his card was in French, he explained to me what his card did, and he made an honest mistake, and I could see the card, because it was literally just like, he put it to the left in his hand, and we both, as I said it, he spotted it and showed me the card. And I said, no, it's fine, we'll keep on playing. In my head, I was thinking, I've got him next go, or in like 2 turns, and I kind of want to beat him
fair and square.
And I thought, the fact that he accidentally drew an extra card, him telling me that that would be a game loss, it seemed like such an extreme punishment, so I wouldn't ever do it again, but I said, no, it's fine, we'll just carry on.
Yeah.
And then
I totally understand where you're coming from.
no, I'll finish the story.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So basically, he carried on, put it on top of his library, and then he eventually beat me, and he was able to combo off in the next turn. So I shook his hand and said, "Yeah, fair game." And he said, "You thanked me for, not calling the
Letting
judge."
him win.
Well, not as it turns out, because when I told other people, they said, "Oh no, he was wrong." Drawing an extra card, because of recent rule changes, now isn't an automatic game loss. But basically you get to Thoughtseize their hand and take whatever card you want out of it, and it gets discarded. But then I thought back and I said, I'm about 90% sure he had Jeskai Ascendancy in his hand at that point, which if I could Thoughtseize his hand, I would have taken it out of his hand and I would have won. So even though it wouldn't have been an automatic game loss, I still could have manoeuvred the win. But yeah, I'd never do it again. It was just a really bad situation to be in, and if anything, I think he should have called the judge on himself. But in the future, if somebody doesn't, I would call the judge on them.
The issue is, no one's going to call a judge on themselves.
No,
you're all there, really.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think. Well, I can't imagine. I can't imagine why anyone would call a judge on themselves. I totally understand where you're coming from, because you don't want to. He's made an honest mistake, and you don't want to feel like a dickhead for going or feel bad, because I guess we've both got a conscience, and I had it.
I think I was in that mindset as well, where I'm not extremely confident,
Yeah.
and I had already had it in my head that I'm not going to make day 2. And
It's a bit of a shame.
yeah, it was a bit of a shame. I mean, yeah, it is what it is, and I'll learn from it moving.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from,
Yeah.
but local level, yes, because I quite like local people, and I get on with local people, and I'll let it off.
And yeah, a Friday Night Magic or something like that is totally fine. Just you know what, you made a simple error. It's fine. But in competitiveness, I shouldn't be doing that.
It's a tough call because I'm not in that position. But in hindsight, I'd have been like, yeah, judge. My opponent's accident, but whatever.
No, your game 2
is what it is.
Anyway.
Game 2 for me was against a blue-black Thopter deck, which was weird. Really good. Using Thopter Spy Network and Hangaback Walkers and things like that, just basically fire off Thopters and then basically Thopter control.
Okay.
I think we went to game 3. I'm pretty sure we went to game 3 because once again I managed to burn him out of Shaman. But then one of the things I remember is him going, do you know what, between games, he's like, do you mind if I just read Shaman at the back? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he looks and goes, oh, it does target. And I was like, yeah. And I just looked and went, Orbs of Warding then, yeah?
Right.
And he was like, he just sort of gave me a smile. Sideboarded Orbs of Warding in. So he has hexproof, he can't be targeted by Shaman.
Wow.
I was like, okay, that's kind of messed my game plan up, but I put in a load of artifacts and enchantment hate because that's a lot of what he was playing.
Yeah.
And he just basically managed, the third game, he just managed to grind me out and control me out. And with not being able to use the Shamans, and stupidly I forgot the second half of Orbs of Warding. This is what I mean by, like, sometimes I'll read cards more of them, forget them. The second half of Orbs of Warding, I was like, okay, I'll attack him with this thing. And he goes, okay, I take no damage. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I take 1 less. And it was like a fucking, it was something small.
That 1 power, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so that happened. So he beat me, but he was a really nice guy. And that was that. So at this point I was 0-2 with game 3 to come. What was your game 3, Joe?
My game 3 was against a blue devotion deck, like mono blue, and it had Thassa, God of the Sea, which needs 5 devotion to become a creature, and it had like a lot of like elemental creatures and things like that. And I just think my deck either did really well against it, or the deck he was playing with wasn't really all that prolific or all that great. My favourite play in the game, because like I said, I was playing Sidisi Whip, and he had out all of his creatures that had 1 toughness. So he had all his elementals, which they come in as 1/0s, and then the other creature that comes in with
Buffs them, doesn't it?
Yeah, buffs them 1/1, so they turn into 2 1s.
Master of Waves.
Master of Waves, yeah. And off bringing out Sidisi Brute Tyrant, I managed to mill Silumgar the Drifting Death. Whip it back in, it attacked and it just pretty much wiped, I think, 4 out of 5 of his creatures, because obviously it neg-1s all of his creatures. And then I swung through, and I think off that he took enough damage to finish the game. But yeah, I won that 2-0, and it was quite comfortable as well, so I was quite happy that, because at the Grand Prix, if you lose your first, basically once you lose 3 games, you can't make day 2.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to kind of go out in 3 games. I wanted to have beaten somebody and still be alive.
Yeah.
So I beat him, and I was 1 win and 2 losses. I theoretically could have been 2 wins and 1 loss, but that is what it is. And even if I'd have beaten the guy in the second match, then I wouldn't have been paired against the person I played in the third match. So you never know really with situations like that. But yeah, I knocked him out of the tournament. I guess so, because he took his third loss.
Yeah, of course he would have been.
Yeah. And I stayed in, and I was 1 and 2, which I was quite happy with, because I went there with the intent that I just want to beat someone, and I beat someone, and I was like, yeah, beat someone.
Yeah, rules on his day. Yeah, rules on his weekend.
Yeah.
My game 3 was against a really odd mono white deck, which basically abused a Johnny's Primate.
Scary.
And ways to gain life. So it was like it was a girl from Woking, Victoria, something I can't remember her last name unfortunately, but I remember her name was Victoria, because I didn't even realise it was a woman until I walked over and tapped her. I was like, there's a woman so because I read it as just like maybe Victor or something.
Oh, Victor. I was going to say, how are you confused?
And yeah, so basically like Sungrace Pegasus, which is a 1/1 flying lifelink, comes down turn 2, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then a Johnny's Primate comes down turn 3, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, like as I say, my deck's got no removal in it.
Yeah.
So like.
And you want to burn them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. Then Angel of Tides came down.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, this is now.
Shit just got good.
Yeah, this is going to be a pain, because it's like the whole pay 1 more to block, pay 1 more to attack sort of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is like, that's a little bit worrying. That's like
I don't know what I do now.
Really worrying.
Pretty much.
She, basically the crux of the first game was she swung in with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And left me with 1 life. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, left me with 1 life. I was like, okay.
You said that like it was a gift. It's like,
I'll
leave you with 1 life.
Mate, it was, because I had she was on that 18 life, and she tapped out everything to attack me, left me with 1 life. I had 5 mana on board, and an Obelisk Bird in hand. And Obelisk Bird put me over the top to hit her for more than 18 in 1 turn, because I managed to convoke, I think, an Elvish Mystic.
Yeah.
And for 5 mana, I went Obelisk Bird, Call Elves, hit you. I was like, hit you for 19. And she was just like, oh, that was close. She was a really nice girl, but she was like, she was happy it was close games and stuff. Game 2, I think I managed to just burn her out, but I managed to also resolve I resolved a Sidisi's Whip.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Sidisi Whip, Whip of Erebos. So it was like a game of who can gain the most life quickest sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then she managed to kill one of my shamans, which I whipped back in. I was like, oh yeah, burn you, then hit you. Win. And she was, as I say, a really nice girl. Like, she was saying how, obviously, I kind of ruined someone's weekend as well by making them go over 3, but...
she was going to do the same to you.
Yeah, but she was saying how it's nice to play something that was close games and something that wasn't, like, I guess, an out-and-out deck or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Your game 4?
My game 4 was, again, against Red-Green Monsters.
Ugh.
And I'd already figured out it was a really weak matchup because of my first game where I lost 2-0. And my opponent, I can't remember much of the first game, but he beat me in the first game. And then I think I took the second game. And then in the third, he just drew his nut draw. And he managed to get out 2 Goblin Rabblemasters, which by about turn 5 had 4 to 6 goblins in total, and because they forced each other to attack each turn, It was just quicker than I could deal with anything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, I was still trying to set up my board, and he was just like, he apologised at the end. It was like, I didn't think I'd get 2 Goblin Rabbit Masters, and then he had a 3rd one in hand, just in case. It was just like, there's absolutely no chance I could have overcome that. So yeah, I was knocked out in the 4th round. But he was a really nice guy, and we were having quite a bit of a laugh together.
That's cool.
And we were talking about what magic card we would be if we were a card. And he said he'd be like a low mana but quite essential uncommon combo piece. So I said he was Ultra of the Brood because I just played Jeskai as Lucy earlier. Yeah. And I sounded really clever because I knew what the card of his description. But yeah.
From the experience.
Yeah, so it was really nice, and I checked his results later on, and he got knocked out later on.
That's true.
Like in round 6, I think. So yeah.
My game 4 was against Soul-Type Control, which was slightly similar to your deck, but a little bit different. It was playing Jace, like maybe 4 Jaces or something. And again, we went to game 3. A long, grindy game in game 3. Game 1 he won. Game 2 I won by burning him out with Shaman Pack, which is like the fucking phrase of the day, apparently. But one of the funniest things about that game was managing to play Stain the Mind on turn 3, calling Languish, having him sort of read it, and then go, okay. Digging the 3 Languishes out of his deck and putting them on the side, to which I jokingly then turned to him and deadpan went, actually I get to look through deck.
Yeah.
And he sort of handed his deck over, and as I'm going through his deck, I, as I say, deadpan and totally straight-faced looked at him and just went, I just write all this down. And he sort of looked at me for a minute. I was like, I'm totally joking, don't worry, I'm not going to because you apparently are within your rights to be able to do that.
Yeah, because you get to see the whole deck.
Yeah.
So do the
you
cards...
if you wanted to go for a draw.
Do the cards get removed or they get exiled?
Yeah. Okay. They get fully exiled. So I managed to basically win that game by taking Languish out of his deck. Unfortunately, he had like 2 or 3 Drowning Sorrows in there as well. Mm-hmm. And managed to then game 3. Game 3 was a hell of a grind game, and I managed to resolve Stain of Mind again. And I called Drowning Sorrow and Doug. I can't remember how open it was. I got one out of his hand with it because I saw him. I'm sure I saw him put it in there, so I knew it was in hand. So I sort of played around it a bit, and then I was like, Drowning Sorrow, get rid of it. And it got to a point where I think I got him down to something like 4 life, and then he beat me. And when I'd have got him like next turn, I was like, damn. Or like another shaman, and I was damn. So close. So unfortunately, I got knocked out in round 4 as well. And then we played game 5 for funsies. Yeah,
game 5 was funsies, and I was kind of tired and very hungry at this point. So basically, I played game 5 just to see how it would go. I was pretty sure I was going to drop out afterwards. And I met this really nice woman. I can't remember her name. Lucy, that was it. And she just explained to me, sorry if I play a little bit slow.
Sorry to interrupt, just before we go into the story, me and Joe were actually sat next to each other for game 5.
We were, yeah.
Which was quite funny.
Within like thousands.
That's how I knew exactly, if you've seen the footage from last week, that's why I knew exactly where you were during game 5 against Lucy with the Abzan that you see a little bit of.
Yeah, so that's Lucy that you saw in the video. And the moment you saw in the video was like the best moment ever, is when I murderous cutted a siege rhino.
Yeah, I'll delve through. You're saying...
Thank you for filming that moment.
I didn't even realise as I was filming it, but after watching it back, walking up and here you go, I'll delve free, untap this, murderous cut, and I'm just like, my man.
And she's like, yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. Whatever, it's coming back.
Yeah. So she was really nice, and she just said, oh, sorry if I play a bit slowly, I only play about once a month. And she was explaining, I got to know each other a bit. She was like a mum, and
really,
yeah, she was a mum, and she just kind of plays when she can, but she's got to obviously look after her children a lot. And I said, I play with my mum. I taught my mum how to play, and she plays very slowly as well. So don't worry about it. It's completely fine. I'm already knocked out. Let's just have a bit of fun. And I've got to say, for somebody who doesn't play all that much and came across all over innocent, she had a deck where it was just an assortment of all the most expensive cards. It was just had like...
Was it like full on Abzan?
It's full on Abzan with like just Death Raptors coming out of everywhere. And yeah, we went 1-1 and then she beat me in the last one. And it was they were all close games. And she even made a couple of mistakes as she was playing, like she flipped up a Den Protector and she forgot to get Death Raptor back out of the graveyard and into play.
I can't remember exactly what it was. I think when I was watching for a bit I saw her do something.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh no. And you were a bit like, no. We can't go back now.
We can't go back now.
Yeah. There's no going back now.
No.
Yeah.
But, even like, just kind of going through it, it's just, her cards that she brought out were just really strong. Siege Rhinos, just coming out all the time. And she beat me in game 3.
Out the ass.
It was. It's out of everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really solid deck, and it just proves how strong that deck is that, she wasn't that confident with it, and, she was forgetting triggers, like a couple of triggers a game maybe. And it was still able to kind of roll over my deck. Where I was playing Sidisi Whip, I looked online kind of after the tournament to see how well the best person did with my deck, and the best person came 122nd, which doesn't sound that great, but it was like
out of 2,000 people.
Yeah, out of 2,000 people, I think it was like the 10th not most successful, but highest finish of a unique archetype of deck. So it really wasn't the best deck to be taking with me.
Just quick before we go into my game 5 and day 2, 2,000 people, it was actually the biggest GP the UK's ever seen.
Is it?
And we were a part of it.
Bring the crowd.
Hell yeah. So my game 5 was against Blue-Red Tutelage, which the minute he started playing it I was like, right, okay, he was a really nice guy, all smiles and whatever, yeah, really nice dude. And yeah, Blue-Red Tutelage, I managed, it was one of those games where I just had to try and race him as quick as possible and control the board. I'm pretty sure I corded for a reclamation stage at one point to get rid of something, and he was like, in response, I'll draw some cards. I was like, for God's sake. Yeah. But he managed to resolve a treasure cruise while at Hammeret's archive, and I think it was on field. And yeah, he was like, okay, I'll draw 6, you mill at least 12, which I did, and I think he got 1 or 2 triggers, 1 or 2 remills off of it. I was like, okay. And then he looks at me and goes, how many cards are in your deck?
Yeah.
And I was totally like, I don't think he can actually ask that.
Yeah.
But I counted them out and I was like 13. I've now found out from recent FNM that they can ask that, and you can count them face down, sorry, and that's all hunky dory. And I was like, 13 cards left, and he's like, okay, I think I can do this. Magmatic Insight, ditch land, draw 4, and he just managed to burn me up so quickly. And then game 2, I think I had to multiply and keep a crap hand, and I was just like, yeah, and he just did it again. No, he didn't. Game 2, he sideboarded in Thunderbreak Regent and Stormbreath.
Okay.
Or Stormwind Dragon, or whatever it's called.
Stormbreath Dragon.
Stormbreath Dragon.
Yeah.
And this was the second situation throughout the day when they hit the field and I went, I would so love a Hero's Downfall right now in my deck. I was like, damn, nothing in my deck can kill Thunderbreak Regent or a Stormbreath. No,
Had you sideboarded out Hero's Downfall?
They just went in my deck. So
you didn't have one.
I played and like someone dropped Pelucanos on me earlier in the day and I was like, oh, balls. But that's how it was. He just milled me out. Say, super nice guy. After that, me and Joe were like, we're tired and hungry, let's go have food.
Yeah.
So we went and had a little lunch date, which was cool. A nice little quaint cafe.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Then we went back, played a bit of Sealed.
Yeah. So after that,
Joe played a bit of Sealed. I'll just, as Joe's story's going to be longer, I'm just going to hold the camera a bit more and talk. Sorry.
No, mine won't be that long.
I jumped into Sealed, basically played one game, had a massive headache, and went, sorry, I'm going to go have all my cards though because I'm not that bothered apart from the rares. Yeah. Played a really nice girl called Laura Gabriel. I only remember that because the last name Gabriel was like that. That's odd. But yeah, she was really nice. She said that she doesn't actually play FNM level, but she goes to most GPs and stuff. was like,
Fair enough.
Play at FM level. So that's really backwards. But she was like really nice, and we just chatted generally.
Cool.
So on and so forth.
Yeah, so we did the same sealed event. I was quite happy with my deck, and in the first game, I played against somebody who's probably like one of the best people I've ever played against. He was just really good at just playing things in order and being really clever about stuff. And he basically built a deck just based around auras, and he had a creature that when you brought it into play, you could search your library for an aura, and then he put the aura on it, and then that aura would, depending on the situation, he would either attach the aura and be the one that allows you to filter lands out of your library, or he would just find an aura like claustrophobia and use it as removal against me.
Why don't you? The aura you mentioned before, claustrophobia, is a card that I don't know the name of.
Oh,
you beat me.
No, it was like something is in Origins, obviously, but
Yeah.
I haven't paid attention to it because I hadn't obviously rated it when I read it. But yeah, basically he beat me 2-0, and I was like, okay, I'll stay in. And then after that, my second opponent didn't turn up, so I was officially 1-1. Cool. And then by this point, I think just because I hadn't been playing, the tiredness just came over me, and I became like deliriously tired. And in my third game, my opponent was just kind of like joking with me, and we were just kind of like just like making the cards come to life and things like that. We were both kind of deliriously tired, and there was one moment where he was going very aggro, and he had 4 different creatures that had 1 toughness, and I, just as luck would have it, had Chandra's Fury in hand, which deals 4 damage to the player and 1 damage to each creature he controls. And even though it's a situation he could get really salty about, I just went, you know what? I'm going to tap these 5 mana, and Chandra's going to get furious up in here. Because I was just so gone. And he just started laughing, just scooped. And then I beat him.
And that's what Magic ends up like if you take cocaine, kids.
That's what it ends up like if you've been playing it for 8 hours straight. And then in the last round, so I was 2-1. In the last round, I played somebody who seemed more exhausted than me, and if we can just do an impression of him, he just basically did this. He just went, "Oh, nice to meet you. Do you mind if we just take a draw and leave? Because I'm really tired." Like that, and I was like, then I was like kind of in the same mode, and I was like, oh, like what are the prizes? What's the difference in the prizes? And he goes, oh, if you win 2, you get 40 points, and these points you can transfer into like prizes. He goes, oh, if you win, you get 40 points. If we draw, no, sorry, if you win 2 and I beat you, you get 40 points. If we draw, we both get 70 points, and if you win 3, you get 100.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that seems quite fair. So we just took the intentional draw, as did about half of the people in the last round, because everybody was just gone.
Yeah, like you said about that, it reminds me of something that this Laura Gabriel girl said.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I've drunk a lot of coffee today, and I don't really drink coffee, and I've been like, she's like, I'm quite knackered now, and I've been getting like heart palpitations, and I'm like, are you okay?
Wow.
Like, that's some serious stuff, that you're having heart palpitations from like the 16 cups of coffee you drank today. That's ridiculous. She's like, oh, I'll be alright, I just want to keep playing, and I'm like, I'm fucking mad.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed.
So we took the intentional draw, so I went 2-1-1. One of those was a bye, I guess, so I went 1-1-1, I guess, technically. So yeah, I got my 70 points, and that got me a play mat, which I chose one for Tammy, because that was my thing I had together. It was my gift, and it got me 2 packs of Origins as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I was quite happy with that.
Sunday, we're kind of running out of time, but still go over briefly. Sunday, we just side evented. We entered the two-headed giant sealed, two-headed giant sealed, and looked at our pool, and it was quite possibly the worst pool
it was horrible
to think of. We could barely push 2 decks together.
We had like 2 mediocre decks, didn't we?
And
like,
Joe just sort of looked at me and went, Do you want to scoot? Because I want to enter the sealed.
I basically had an unlimited pass, which meant I could
Yeah.
go into anything. And I had like a ticket for a draft, and I think another ticket for a draft.
Sealed and draft it was.
Sealed and draft, yeah. So I dropped out of Two-Headed Giant with the cards, and then I drafted and dropped out. And just basically, when I was drafting, I was just rare drafting. But the person to my right was also rare drafting, so I screwed him over more than he screwed me over.
Second pack, you said.
Yeah, but second pack I didn't get anything.
First and third, you were like.
Yeah. So first and third, he was looking at me like, why did we have to be placed next to each other?
What are you doing to me, man?
Yeah. I didn't get anything decent out of it.
No.
But it was free cards. And
sealed.
And then sealed, I did really well with what I got in sealed. I got a Nissa and a Kithian in my sealed in my 6 packs, and I was like, that is the result of the weekend. So I played one round and lost, and then everybody was ready to go home.
You said that in terms of sealed and drafted at the weekend. My results were Hangerback Walker, Abbot of Carroll Keep, and Exquisite Firecraft.
Yeah.
I was like, that's £30 on 3 cards. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I don't sell cards apparently, but I'm happy.
Yeah. No, even when I got the Nissa and the Kithian, the other rares I got were like Languish
I remember you saying,
and Exquisite Firecraft, and I was like, that's 4 incredible
That's
rares out of 6 packs.
As we say, just briefly, massive congratulations to Lee, who came 25th.
Yeah, Lee Robbins,
Lee Robbins
25th.
25th, and Luke Sabin, or Sabin, however you say your name, mate, who came 50th, and it's just insane that
So,
they
yeah,
managed to
not
do
only
that.
did they make day 2, but they stormed day 2, and
Yeah.
it was really fun just to kind of follow their progress.
Yeah, I was like,
And to know that they come from your local scene as well, and they did so well was
during
really
games,
encouraging.
While you were playing sealed and stuff, I was going over and watching them, and I was watching Lee, and at one point he sort of looked at me, eye contact with me, gave me a little smile, and then I think he sort of went, no, I need to keep my head in the game and continue playing. I was like, I don't want to distract you, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. For anyone who's local, Lee is also doing a charity event on the 5th of September at Shield and Dagger, which is £15 for 4 rounds at least of standard. The winner wins a box, and not many people are going to know this, but I'm going to put some of my own rares into that pool as well, one of which is going to be the new Chandra,
Really?
aforementioned Exquisite Flycraft, and Abbott are all going to be in that prize pool, so it's definitely worth playing for £15, and it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
So if anyone's local, definitely get down there if you can.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yes, Mull's 4 will be there.
Yeah. Our announcement.
Our announcement. This is actually going to be our last pod. No.
You wish.
You're not that lucky. We are basically going to start expanding the channel as best we can. What this basically means is we are going to start doing deck techs and start filming some of our games.
Some live play. But we'll still be doing the normal
Live play. This will
podcast.
still happen. We're just going to expand what we do. I'm not sure if you have, but we may go on it in the sense we'll speak to a couple, if not one of our local FNMs, and see if we can film games there. I'm not sure how that will work out, but if we can, that'd be good, because it'd be good to go before, not just me and Joe playing all the time, sort of.
But if not, we'll still be able to film elsewhere.
Yeah.
Should I just explain the first deck text that we'll be doing for you?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll be doing the first one.
Do not explain what my deck tech you just played against is, though, because I want that to be a surprise.
So
Don't mention the deck I've just played.
Alright, okay. So the first deck tech that we're going to have on the channel is going to be based around Abzan Languish. So it's using Languish as the main key, and basically with the idea that everything in your deck either survives Languish or gets better after Languish. The deck will be completely free of Theros block and M15 cards, so you don't have to worry about it rotating out. It's been played and tested, I really like it, and it's been doing well. So that one will be up first.
That's going to be the first deck tech.
Yeah.
We'll film games when we can. We've got
Yeah.
sort of our own play group anyway that we can probably film games in, so hopefully we can get some from our FNM. And that'll be sweet. So this has been episode 7 of Mull 4. Remember to rate, comment and subscribe. There's also going to be our nice little new Facebook page down here.
Is there? That's amazing.
Yes, which you can click on and
In the description.
Yep.
Okay.
Follow or like the page, which is what we want.
That's what we want.
Until next week, this has been Mull 4.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.